Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got to go ahead and move on just one more time.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is.
Yeah, buddy. Yes, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, from good news to bad news, again, Dan Snyder, he just can't get along with anybody, ladies and gentlemen. And his most recent or his most prolonged little feud is with the Washington Post. And I mean, break this thing down, man. What is going on with this? Because I know there's been letters been sent, emails. It's just getting out of hand. Talk to me about this whole situation.
You're right when you're saying it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand, honestly, for both sides. And they kind of need to start, I don't know, in my opinion, becoming grown-ups and getting along.
Yep.
So Snyder and the Post have not gotten along for many, many years now. And I mean, we're talking over 10 years because they Snyder, Allen, the team, Larry Michael, they all felt the Washington Post was being overly critical of them too often. Every single beat writer that would come through, Jason Lockenfora, Jason Reed, Mark Maskey, they would eventually sour on them because they weren't writing enough puff pieces, to be honest. And so that's kind of where it started. And so then while they couldn't restrict access, they could give exclusives to other folks and they could ignore journalism requests by the Post. So it kind of, these bitter feelings happened. Recently, they're still kind of going back and forth. And where I say they both kind of need to grow up and just move along with their days is, so essentially what happened is over the weekend, the Washington Post had an editorial column written by Sally Jenkins. Okay. Sally is a very accomplished writer. She's written many books. She is very well known. Sally also lives in New York City. All right. So she's writing about a team in a town she doesn't live, which we all know in today's world, you can do, there's a lot more connection before. Yeah. But it rubs people the wrong way when she continues to write all these stories that blast the team when she's not around to see anything else. So it's everything she talks about is negative. All right. So she wrote an editorial over the weekend, and part of what she said is true. Basically, what she's saying is this new Dan Snyder sounds very similar to the old Dan Snyder.
Yep.
And she mentioned in it, the congressional campaign that's going on and the hearings, and the fact that what came out at the last one is that Dan Snyder and his cronies were running a shadow campaign. Basically, when one of the cheerleaders would come out to say that they were going to speak out in public, Snyder would have somebody tail them, follow them home, to eventually kind of learn a little bit more about them, basically to use it against them, or then to go up to them and offer them hush money. Say, if you would not go testify, we'll give you this amount of money. So what Sally's saying is true. Like, this is still the same old Dan Snyder, even though the NFL claims that, he's gone away.
Right.
She's true. The problem of it is the congressional hearings were on June 22nd.
Yeah.
The article came out on July 3rd. In today's time, that is several news cycles ago. We've already moved on. And that's the part that the Commanders got really upset about, is like they said, so they responded to it and basically say this is a smear campaign by the Washington Post. They're just trying to continue to put out bad stories about us.
Yeah.
And what the Commanders say has some validity. Every time something good has happened, the Post is coming out with something negative. On 2/2/22, they dropped the new name. On 2/3, there was something in the Post about allegations. Every time we do something good, recently they would say we just signed Terry McLaurin, the best player the franchise has had in years, and you drop this late story. Right. So they're not wrong in what they're saying. The problem that I have with this is it's taken away from the Washington Post from all the good things they're doing, because the Washington Post is the one who broke the news about the cheerleading scandal. Yep. They broke the news about the sexual harassment. They're the ones who broke that big story of 1 or 2 summers ago that some of the stuff leaked out that was totally false, but essentially they broke this whole story. That's what people need to be thinking of the post. And if you keep kind of going back to the well and keep, it's like it's getting too old.
Yeah.
But the part I don't like about the Commanders, and this is where I think they need to grow up, and this is where you can really tell that Snyder's still running things. It's not about the fact that they responded.
Yeah.
It's how they responded. In it, they were very nasty in their response. They were petty. They were, very accusatory. And I'm not a PR person, all right? But I can tell you that for years now, I've watched what we publicize and what we respond and said, could have said that a whole lot better. Yeah. Rather than, all they could have said was, there's been another article that comes out. We want to focus on the future and what we're building now. And they could have said that and left it at that. Instead, they really talked about, we've hired a Latino coach in Ron Rivera. Excuse me. We've hired the first African-American team president in Jason Wright. And Tanya Snyder's the first female owner and / CEO. It's basically kind of throwing in your face that makes you say, are you hiring these people because they're qualified? Or are you hitting quotas?
Yeah.
Because they're basically now coming and patting themselves on the back with these statements for all their diversity campaigns. Yeah. Hiring Jennifer King as the first female. Exactly. And that's where it's like, Commanders, you all got to also just like swallow your pride and let this go. Know what you're doing is putting yourself in the right path. You don't need to publicly respond to every single thing because you got to grow up and kind of let the adults take over. And so it's just that's kind of what's been going on lately. Again, it's like this is the only thing Snyder's in the news for is bad stuff. I'm just getting sick and tired of the two of them acting like teenagers, truthfully.
And it's just like, when is it ever going to end? Unfortunately, as we have both named him, he is Teflon Dan. He somehow continues to evade getting terminated, getting kicked out of the league. I don't know what's going to happen, but he's still here. And as you've seen with the prior conversation with Joe Jacoby, it's affecting more than just the team. Now it's affecting guys that played before he was even here, and he's really he could potentially messing that up for them. So
that's a good point.
It's just ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous. But
thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.